I am Stephen Davis, Senior Market Strategist, RJO Futures. It's Friday, June 30th, here to talk to you about the grain markets, okay? It's the end of the month, it's the end of the quarter, and we've got the USDA Acreage and Stocks Report here at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. So we'll start with the corn market and talk about that. Three things that can be bullish for corn here going forward. Number one, the managed fund short position in corn. Number two, a bullish acres report here in a couple hours time. And number three, a hot and dry July weather forecast. So back to number one, the managed funds. You know, they've been short, they're still short corn. That can be a catalyst for more buying coming higher. Number two, this acreage report, a lot of uncertainty about acres here. So we'll get this defined in a few hours' time. A lot of talk about maybe 500,000 less acres of corn. My analysis, I think you got to see 1 million less acres of corn for this report to be bullish, okay? And number three, a hot and dry July forecast. So we'll see about weather here going forward. I can tell you this, it's hot and dry in northwest Iowa, and they're very, very urgent for some rain there in that growing region of our corn belt. So our first chart of the day is corn, and you can see corn in very good support. It's higher here this morning. We'll see what happens here in a couple hours. Most important is where these markets close this afternoon. Soybean market, okay, the demand story for soybean continues. And yesterday we had export sales. Exports of old crop soybeans very stout, which leads to more demand for our soybean market analysts thinking this is going to continue. This is a good story, and exports are so important to our grains, to our agriculture. Remember a couple weeks ago I mentioned to you Canada for the first time is going to seed more acres in canola than wheat. And if you know the history of our great neighbor to the north, Canada, a big wheat powerhouse, here the first time in the history they're planting more acres in canola than wheat. This is what the market wants and the consumer of the world wants, and the consumer gets what he wants. So really good story here. Soybean chart, next one here, it's in good support. We'll kind of see how this all goes and as the report comes out here in a couple of hours' time. Okay, and lastly, the third, the wheat market. We got a wheat chart here, and the bulls in corn and soybeans are hoping that corn and beans trade like wheat has. And Minneapolis wheat, Kansas City wheat, Chicago wheat exploding higher here. So a lot of short covering going on. I was looking at a 5-year chart of wheat, and you know, we've been trending lower for 5 years. And if you draw a trend line on that chart, we have broken above there. So it seems like the bear market in wheat is over, and maybe it's time to start thinking bullishly about these crops. Okay, we'll get this report out of the way. Most important is Monday we got a half day. Tuesday we're closed in these grain markets, and then Wednesday morning we'll open up 8:30 Central Standard Time. Happy 4th of July from everybody here at RJO Futures, and have an excellent weekend.